Alrighty, let's do this. Emotionally unavailable men. This is a subject that's come up quite a bit in some of the coaching sessions that I have done with some queens. And one of the things I always reflect back to them is notice where you are and notice how much comes up when we dig a little bit and poke at your paradigm. The idea that men are emotionally unavailable, therefore the assumption is that you are, is actually a lot of bullshit. It's the conversation of two sides of the same coin. Just because men don't communicate like you think they should, based on how you were nurtured, does not make them emotionally unavailable. What it may make them is a challenging match for yourself, given that you want to talk about everything and talk it out from righteousness. Let's talk, but I'm right. And I'm going to share with something, and I hope you guys hear this, that I'm not like pounding down on women or anything of that nature, but there's just a lot of talk about toxic masculine, men are X, Y, and Z, men are dogs, men are this. And I want to help you see how you're alienating an entire group of people without really looking in the mirror. I have yet to meet anybody, self-included, who does not come with a whole bunch of baggage. And all that baggage gets reflected in shame and guilt and little subtle ways to throw jabs at another human, believing that you're better than them or superior in some way. And that is the thing that I want to address. You are not superior. You may be better practiced in expressing your emotions. There's been a study, they did a study with, I think it was like 13 and 14-year-old little boys and girls. And when a little boy fell during a sporting event, often all the boys would surround him, check on him, and then they'd say, all right, substitute, send somebody else in because the game must go on. And conversely, when a little girl got hurt, all those little girls surrounded that girl, the game stopped, and everything became about her and her hurts and her wounds. Now, as an outsider, we can look at that and say, oh, the little girls are better. And I don't know if that's true. I'd say that it's a way to handle a situation. Both can create issues. One, a little boy feeling surrounded by his friends and them wanting to take care of him, and then them saying, all right, bro, sit off to the side while somebody gets the principal or whoever to take care of you, may create emotional resilience. And so what comes up a lot in these coaching sessions that I do with men is they'll say, bro, it's like anything I do tips her off, and then we're back to me being in trouble, right? And they have this whole thing about getting in trouble with their partner. And it's beautiful that we called each other in. Relationships, in my opinion, are the most challenging thing on the planet if you choose to do it consciously, right? If you keep putting down the sword of righteousness and looking and reflecting and looking back at yourself, most challenging thing ever. If you are just blaming and shaming and pointing everything over there at these toxic men and these narcissistic men and these, we have a lot of labels for men right now. And as one, I want to remind you that if you dig deep enough, you will find a lot of interesting ego trick to try to keep the personality safe. The inner critic will literally point over there without looking at itself and noticing all the places where you caused, allowed, or perpetuated the very issue that you're pointing at another for. The martyrdom, the woe is me victimhood, the blaming and shaming your partner because they honestly told you the truth. You said, hey, do you find her attractive? And they said yes. And now 6-7 years later, you're still punishing that person for that truthfulness. And so men feel exact opposite. You ask, hey, do I look pretty in this dress? They're going to answer the only way that keeps them safe. And so we have to look at the safety mechanism. Why does a man not feel safe around a woman? And why does a woman not feel safe around a man? And I am in no way excusing actual abuse. Let me say this crystal clear. I'm in no way excusing actual abuse, emotionally or physically. And it's a very thin line when it comes to emotional abuse. If somebody has to walk on pins and needles, that could be considered emotional abuse. And then if the person who's walking on pins and needles daily finally explodes and yells or says something, that person could be deemed emotionally abusive without looking at the entire thing. In sporting events, oftentimes the referee only catches the retaliation and not the initial thing. And so very nuanced. I am not an expert. I am just sharing my truth here. And my truth is subject to change. Ladies, you are amazing. You are beautiful. You are queens. You are powerhouses. You are all those things And I invite you to stop labeling your ex-husband or everybody else a narcissist or emotionally unavailable unless you actually have a certification or some type of like actual proof that that person is that. Because oftentimes it's a lot trickier. And this may make some of you hate me. And I just request that you be as nice as possible in the comments. I swear to God, I'm here for all of us. And I think I'm a voice for the voiceless in that sense. Yeah, deeply appreciate each and every one of you. Please drop a comment below if this resonated or if it didn't and you want to tell me how I'm absolutely wrong. Just all I ask is you do it respectfully. Blessings and blessings.